Hey, what is up, YouTube? Angry Eradicate here. Today for our podcast video, the Poke Podcast. I have SlowBro the First rejoining here again. He wasn't here the last few episodes for my monotype tier list. Go check that out if you haven't seen it yet. But why don't you say hello to everybody here, SlowBro?
Hi.
Alright, so he doesn't have too many words yet, but today, if you check the title of the video, obviously you know we're going over our favorite and least favorite gens, kind of ranking those now. This Poke Podcast, don't worry guys, it won't just be for ranking videos. Right now, that's all we're really pushing out. But today we're going to be going over the bottom 4 generations that we thought of, the ones that we value the least. Starting from the bottom, we'll work our way up to the top. There'll be a part 2 for the last 3. But some of our criteria for this, we're not going off nostalgia, so expect Gen 1 to be pretty low, if not the lowest. We'll be going over like region design, Pokemon design, storyline, like bug glitches and stuff like that, aspects we liked in the region, like dex nav, clothing, stuff like that. We'll go over some of those. Those are kind of our criteria, though. So we'll start off first. Our least favorite gen is Gen 1, actually. If you're not basing it off nostalgia, you kind of have to rate it the lowest. If you want to add any comments here to start off.
Yeah, it's the first game. It was buggy. It had the broken psychic type. It had like the ability for stats to roll into low numbers because they had a lower number that your stats can reach when you're boosting.
What do you mean by that?
Like if you're using Calm Mind with your Mewtwo, then it can roll down into like the lower numbers. If you go
if it maxes out too high, it goes back down to the bottom.
Yeah, because it doesn't go infinitely high.
That sucks.
And honestly, they just had no end game content or like anything to do besides just catch Mewtwo, and that's pretty much it.
And don't get us wrong, like it's the first Pokemon game, so it's really important to the whole franchise as a whole. But comparing it to the other ones, while it may not be very fair, obviously you kind of have to value it the lowest. It did introduce 151 Pokemon, so it has that going for it. A lot of them had the same complaint. Ironically, a lot of the complaints about some of the later gens having basic designs, a lot of those complaints can be thrown towards the first generation designs. Obviously, everybody's going to have their favorites and least favorites, but to say that their designs are better per se is not necessarily true. Like Cameron said, or SlowBro said, whoa, like SlowBro said though, the Psychic type was super broken. His bug was not super effective against it, so it didn't have anything that could really beat it, and Ghost was a really weak type as Gengar was the only option.
I mean, there were some of the inanimate object Pokemon that I actually didn't like. Like, I kind of actually didn't like Exeter and the Clang Clang. Even though some of them are uncreative, I actually do kind of like some of them.
Yeah, I think the designs, obviously, they did a really good job diversifying it in Gen 1, in my opinion. They didn't really have any of the repetitions yet. I guess because with the first generation, they weren't going to have any repetitions. But all the physical special split, obviously, they didn't fix that until Generation 3, and they look at the types that we discussed in this first podcast as well. We discussed how Dragon, even though Dragonite was like the only Dragon type, Dragon was special, and they only had, Dragon Rage?
Yeah, it fixed 40 damage.
Fixed 40 damage. They even have a special move for him. You think as something as strong as a Dragon, like they hyped it up to be like a strong thing, and it's a pretty strong thing with base stats, but to not even have a good stab move, and I think the first one with Twister was special. And Gen 2, they only added Kingdra, which wasn't nowhere near as good as Dragonite. And then Gen 3 had Salamence, which was obviously meant to be a physical attacker.
So basically, in like Gen 1 it had issues to fix, but it was only the first game, so
you can't really put too much blame on it. But comparing it to the other ones, obviously not going to be too great. Up next, we actually have Gen 5. Oh boy, we can go on this for a few hours here, in my opinion, but we'll have to try to keep it a little shorter than that. What do you have for Gen 5?
I've got to say, I really am not a fan of most of the Pokemon in this generation. I mean, I'm not even talking about the inanimate objects. I just don't like the designs in general. Like, for the most part. There are some that I do like, but oh yeah, and they had like the sequels, like Black 2 and White 2, but I haven't really played that, but I kind of doubt that it's that much different.
I heard it did increase in the storyline a little bit, but looking at trying to crack that. But looking at Gen 5, you have obviously Black and White and Black and White 2. I didn't like the animation at all. I think a lot of the animations were really cruddy. Like, going back, I prefer the Gen 4 and Gen 3 style of it, and I even like the earlier gens, but I didn't like how they changed it, the animation of it.
It's like 2D, and it's moving as well.
Yeah, it was really kind of glitchy, in my opinion. Like, a lot of it didn't really look like very, like, smooth, or like, not that it's realistic, but it didn't look smooth, and like, it looked kind of sloppy, if you ask me. Again, a lot of the designs were pretty bad. The curve in the game, getting up to the Elite Four was the easiest thing ever. You could fly through the game without trying, and then you go to the Elite Four, and maybe it's just my team that I had, but my team just got raffle stomped by the Elite Four.
Even my starter, which is usually supposed to be on the stronger side, it still seems to be considerably weaker than them.
Like, I think there was Dark and Ghost. They were both
They
Dark
had
and
really
Ghost,
strong.
right?
They had really strong Pokemon. Like, they had Chandelure and Bisharp and stuff like that, which you can't get yourself unless you're willing to grind.
even then, a lot of those Pokemon just weren't available at that point in the game, or they weren't available to end game, or they just weren't available until Gen 2. I don't know, the Black and White 2. But a lot of those Pokemon you just weren't able to get, like stuff in in the Victory Road were like late 30s, early 40s, I want to say, and then the Elite Four is uppers mid 60s towards the end of it. Each of the trainers, they could use like their Bisharp. It would 2-shot all of my team, even if it was resistant, and I would at most 4-shot it, unless I had a good super effective matchup, which almost never happened because they had really unique types like
don't
Dragon.
even begin to mention the end part where the person has the Hydreigon. That's like level 70 something, and it absolutely demolishes your team.
Yeah, I literally had to trade up a Gengar to the game because I wasn't able to beat it otherwise. If you look at the endgame content, wasn't too impressed with that. Obviously, the second game had the battle tree, or the one weird tree, which was kind of unique, I guess.
White tree.
Mm-hmm.
And Black City.
It didn't do much to improve on competitive battling. That was more of a Gen 6 thing that really kind of incorporated a lot with
the only
Destiny
thing I could say about it is they did introduce hidden abilities, but you had to do the Dream World thing.
Which was super annoying to try to figure out, honestly. I mean, maybe I was a little bit younger back then, but still, as like a junior high, I was in junior high, I believe, at that time, and I wasn't able to figure any of that out. I just think that in general, I didn't like a lot of the designs. They didn't really add too much besides the improved, quote-unquote, animations and designs. And the storyline was super overhyped. Everyone's like, oh, it's the greatest storyline ever. They trick you. They make you think, oh, they're really trying to save Pokemon. And guess what? They aren't. It's all a hoax. And then N's the biggest hypocrite ever, wants to save all Pokemon. Guess what? He enslaves the legendary Pokemon and uses that and battles you. So is that really his goal here? They're trying to use Pokemon, the free Pokemon. Well, obviously most of them aren't. They're all evil. And then N, who's been babied his whole life, ends up just saying, oh, I'm the legendary hero or whatever, and then tries to battle you with the legendary as if you're the issue. As if you're the issue. It doesn't make any sense. I don't know. Again, the endgame content, the battle train just didn't really do it for me. I don't know why. We've always been pretty big on the endgame content. Looking at the battle tower for like Gen 4, we used to do that all the time.
I don't think the battle train was like that much different than the battle tower.
It was just kind of dumb though. Like it was just kind of dumb going in a train. Like it just didn't really do it for me. I don't know. And they didn't increase or add any new modes, did they?
They already had. Wait, they did add triple battles.
Which, I mean, it's kind of a gimmicky thing to begin with.
They got rid of it already, though.
Yeah, because no one really did it that much. There was no real point to it.
It lagged out on 3DS.
Yeah, they didn't really take anything away from Gen 4, but they didn't really improve on it at all. I think they kind of made it a little worse. Obviously, the game ran a little bit faster, but that's mostly Diamond and Pearl compared to Platinum and Soul Silver, and like those ran fine. So not much really that. There's nothing really good about Black and White. Nothing too terrible about it. I think we're just a little bit biased against it, but that's our opinion, you know. I think we gave enough reasons for it. Up next, we have Gen 2. If you want to go ahead first here again.
Yeah, it's kind of like a rehash of Gen 1 because even though they did have the Johto region, they tried to make it seem like it's a lot better by saying that they have the Kanto region at the end of it, but it ends up being really watered down. In Heart Gold Soul Silver, they had at least like the ability to travel throughout the whole region. They didn't have as many things, like they didn't have the underground passages, but in Gen 2, like, they didn't have Mewtwo, they didn't have the legendary birds, they didn't have Viridian Forest. Like, it just was extremely watered down. I don't think you got the Kanto stars either.
You just fly through the whole region?
That's pretty much all you really do. You can battle the gems in it, but that's it, really.
They did fix a lot of the bugs, though, and not all of them. I think they fixed quite a few of them,
A
though,
lot
right?
of them.
They fixed most of the bugs. So you gotta give them that credit for that. The Pokemon they added, I'm not a huge fan of a lot of the Gen 2 stuff. There are some nice ones like Ursaring, Skarmory, Sneasel. I like some of those like there. The starters were kind of left a lot. Oh, we can go over starters too. Gen 1 starters, obviously a lot of people have nostalgia for them. You can give them some credit for that. Gen 5, hugely disappointed in the starters.
I really don't. Like, the Gen 1 starters, I'm just not a fan of them. I don't know how else to say it.
You used to like Charizard at least, right?
Yeah, I kind of did.
Yeah, he was alright. I mean, every little kid likes that, so I guess you got to give him that. But it's just we're a little bit older now. It's kind of like, it's a little overhyped. Oh, fire-breathing dragon, how cool. But you look at Gen 5, Flaming Pig, Grass Snake, and
Fat Pig.
Fat Fire Pig, Grass Snake, and the stupid slimmer Swallowian. That's worse. That's what you're getting there. And it's just not where I don't see the appeal in any of those. Gen 2, again, these three gens actually have my least favorite.
I kind of do like Feraligatr, to be honest.
Feraligatr's pretty cool. I'll give you that.
I don't like Paganium that much.
I like Typhlosion and Feraligatr, so I'll give him credit for that. I don't like a lot of the starter designs, like the first forms. The first forms kind of leave me a lot I really don't like Totodile, but I like Cyndaquil. And I like Crocodile and Feraligatr, though. Those are pretty cool. The grass starter line just does nothing for me. And in general, I know in Heart Gold, Soul Silver, people like that a lot. So make sure we're talking about Gen 2, Gold, Crystal, those games. We're not talking about Heart Gold, Soul Silver. There's a difference. We'll get to those in the next video. Don't you worry. Up next, though, we have Gen 7. This is going to be a very unpopular opinion here. We know. But if you want to go off on some of your complaints about the game.
Yeah, it feels almost like... It doesn't seem like it improved in any way. And in fact, like in some regards, it seems to step backwards. Like getting rid of the national decks, like making it so that you can't get the hidden abilities as easily. Like you have to do the SOS chaining. And sometimes the Pokemon just don't call for help at all. Like it just does not feel like an improvement at all. Well, I don't like the islands in general. It's just...
It broke up the game too much. It felt like you were playing something different each time you went off. The tutorial island was super long. This is the 7th generation. Very few people are playing this as their first Pokemon game. Very few. The fact that you had to spend like 4.5, sometimes 5 hours of the game. And the game ran super slow. We'll get to that in a minute. But we spent 4.5, 5 hours sometimes for your first time through. Playing through the starter island. It was all basic information we pretty much always already knew. It kind of introduced for the whole like Kahuna theme and whatnot, but they needed to shorten that down quite a bit.
This is gonna not be received well, but I really do not like most of the Pokemon in this generation.
Yeah, looking at like what they did in Gen 6, they did the right thing in not introducing too many. They really hit it out of the park with all of those.
They did good because they probably spent more time on them. A lot of the Gen 6 Pokemon look great, but...
We'll get to that again later when we get to the Gen 6 part, but Gen 7, all the designs did feel a lot like the one water fighting crab. Like, it looked really stupid.
Most of the Pokemon do, like that water psychic fish thing.
Yeah, the Bruxfish.
Yeah,
that looks really dumb. A lot of them weren't that competitively viable either. I know VGC was a pretty good season, I heard. But otherwise, the game ran super slow, like the totem battles and whatnot. If you didn't have the new and improved 3DS, it would take upwards of 20 seconds sometimes to load for some people, I know. Other issues... The storyline really kind of let us down in the end. I know a lot of people really got into it with the whole Lily evolving into like a good trainer and mature and whatnot. And they like the whole fighting Team Aether. I thought it was pretty good. It wasn't the best, if you ask me. I think the best is either Gen 3 or 4 for story.
I thought it was kind of dumb though how they revealed they don't officially do it, but they basically revealed that Lucimine's evil when she says she wants to help everybody and has that smile.
Yeah, it looks
kind of stupid how they do that.
Yeah, that's almost always how it works.
And then you always just know, oh wait, since you work for the Aether Foundation, you're gonna have to fight them later on.
I didn't like Gladion at all. I thought he was that emo edgelord. He was really stupid. He actually won the stupid four-person free-for-all fight because the professor guy just targeted me with a fake out. Not fake out. He's targeted me, and then he's got like a crit off of whatever he used, his stupid thing, and he killed me. Like, wow, that's a lot of fun. And then, yeah, that was really dumb. So that was not off to a good start with him. I thought he was just so, like, oh, everything's so bad about me. Look how bad my life is. And then, like, you don't understand what I'm feeling. Like, all right, bro, your life's so bad. Like, I guess it's your parents, like, your mom, like was mean to you and whatnot. But, like, come on, you have Pokemon. Like, calm down now. They kind of redeemed him towards the end, I guess, a little bit. But I still think he's kind of dumb. I just don't like the whole edgy side for the rivals.
I never liked those types of people.
Like, Paul, I guess is a little off track with the anime, but I really like Paul.
He doesn't seem to be edgy. He just is usually
confident and just kind of a jerk.
He's just usually serious, and
then like Ash's playful silliness. I guess they just kind of.
There's a difference between being emo and just not being like overly friendly.
Yeah, he was just more of a loner and whatnot. But otherwise, they kind of really with Gen 6, they added a lot of good things. Destiny Knot was added Gen 6, right? Mm-hmm. I mean, obviously they didn't take that away, but in Gen 6, we'll go over this more. They added a lot of nice things. They added the O powers. They added.
I love the secret bases.
We'll go over that. They took away secret bases. They took away Dex Nav. They took away the hordes. The hordes were really important for EV training. The hordes were really nice for EV training
now because why not try and find 256 Pokemon so that you can get a shiny?
Is it guaranteed shiny?
That gives you a better chance. It's an 8-bit counter.
Oh, well, that is what it is, I guess. They did add a few nice things like that. I think the story was pretty good up until the end. I know you might disagree with that a little bit. The region design, a lot of the region was pretty beautiful. They had a lot of more unique characters, I think. Like I feel like instead of the gym leaders who don't play much of a role, some of the Kahunas played a bit more of the role in the story, which was kind of nice to see.
Yeah, I wasn't a fan of the trials, but I guess it's like, yeah, you're not going to like care about the gym leaders after you beat them. So,
but the Kahunas, at least they were on the island afterwards when you were fighting the team.
Yeah, so I really liked. Probably took a direction and step in the right direction there.
This is the thing that a lot of people didn't like with how goofballish the team was. I actually liked that a lot. I liked the what are they? Team Skull? Yeah, I like Team Skull a lot. They really. I like the whole. They switched it up a little bit. The whole boss had like his secret. The Guzma had a secret. Like he was just trying for his people. He knew they were like poor and like this bad, like at battling and whatnot, but they still tried anyway. And they were like, they stuck together. They were a bunch of misfits and they stuck together. I like that. They weren't the whole, oh, we're so elite. Look at us. They. I like the rapping gimmick too. That was pretty funny.
I don't know. I mean, apparently they were sponsored by the Aether Foundation.
I know, but they weren't being like look at most other teams, almost all of them. They're all like, oh, look at us, we're so great and whatnot. If you look at like Team Skull, a lot of them like knew that they weren't great and they knew that they could be more goofballish. I like that. They're not the smug, oh my gosh, we're gonna destroy you, and then oh, how'd you beat us? They got shocked too sometimes, but like they knew that they weren't great. I like that a lot. That's the feel I got from it. Some people probably see it differently, but any other thoughts on any of these gens? Oh, the starters. We've got to do that again. Gen 2, we did Gen 2, so Gen 7 starters. Not a huge fan of them. Were you?
I mean, I didn't really know what to make of Rowlet. I mean, I didn't really know what was going to become. It just seemed like a typical bird, but then it becomes all emo looking with a like cape and.
I do like it though. I love that Z move. The Z move is a really good addition to the game. It really made this.
Did you choose which starter?
I chose you chose the Rowlet. You chose Litten, I thought, right?
No, I chose the Rowlet.
Oh, I chose Rowlet too. I really like the what was the last form called? I always forget.
It was like Spirit Shackle, and it's Decidueye.
Yeah, Decidueye. The Z moves. We'll go over that real quick. The Z moves were super amazing. It really diversified the competitive metagame. That's the one thing for competitive play they did. A lot of other things in competitive play, like Dex Nav, Horde training, and whatnot, they got rid of all that. O powers, that sucks. Why would you ever do that? But the Z moves really diversified metagame, made a lot more Pokemon competitively viable. Good thing there. The Z moves for like the starters, I think were really cool. Like I didn't like the Litten at all.
It turns into the Incineroar.
The typical fire fighting, because they have to have a fighting type starter.
It's a dark type, but
no,
it pretty much looks like it's fighting though.
Oh yeah, people were complaining that it was going to be. My bad. I know the pre-hype. Everyone thought, oh no, our fire fighting. My bad. Fire dog. I guess that's kind of cool. But
many. I mean,
a lot of people
just Infernape and Blaziken.
The complaint people had was they didn't want another. No, Emboar too.
Oh yeah, so there was three.
People really didn't want that to happen again. Almost all the fire types always end up being bipedal. People really wanted to stay a cat so he could stay on 4 legs.
Oh yeah, now that I think about it, yeah, I mean
every fire type is on 2 legs.
Not like
the final form. Well, no, starters.
Yeah, I know.
Charizard, Templosion, Blaziken, Infernape, Emboar, Delphox, and what's the last form? Incineroar.
Even though it's a cat, it goes bipedal.
Of course, they had to do that. The water one was so stupid. So stupid. Again, it's just basically it's like a mix between Samurott and Walrein again, because they couldn't get any more creative with the water starter. I get that there's only so many
I usually like the water starters too.
Oh my gosh, the water's like Blastoise is underrated. It's not a bad one, but
I love like Feraligatr. Swampert's really good. I mean, I think Swampert's probably a little overhyped by most people, but I still really like it.
Empoleon line's pretty good. A lot of people like that one.
Other than that, yeah, I mean,
Greninja line, amazing. We'll get to that later. But yeah, and then this gen kind of let us down. Like this and Samurott, the only water starters I would refuse to pick. It's just you can't do them. You can't pick them. They're not good. Any other thoughts on anything though? We kind of covered a lot for Gen 7. You probably think we hate it now, but there was some good things in it. I liked the design of it. It was a step in the right direction there. They brought back clothing, which I didn't really like too much, but it was good. Any other thoughts though before I interrupt you again?
I don't know. I'm just hoping that they don't do something again like Ultra Sun or Ultra Moon. That does not sound promising.
Yeah, it really doesn't look promising. Should they have some like new forms, whatever, new Alolan forms? Who cares? I really wanted. I guess I get that it's not going to happen, but I really wanted that Gen 4 on the Switch remake. That would have been beautiful.
Well, it might happen, like on the Switch. They're still on the 3DS right now.
Yeah, I'm not sure. We'll see if this. Oh, that's another video. The whole should Pokemon switch over to the Switch, switch over to the Switch, or stay on the 3DS, or make a new handheld device. Although the Switch kind of already is, so we'll see. But as always, guys, let us know what your least favorite gens are right now. Save your favorite ones for the next video. Unless you want to tell us them now, I don't really care. I want to know them now, so you better let us know. Hit us up with a like or a subscribe if you like what you saw here. We have plenty of other kind of content. Head on over to our channel. We got it all for you. We hope you enjoyed this video. We hope to catch you in the next one. Have a great day.